what? Oh, that was weird. These are ordered pairs. This is x and this is y, x and y. So I think what the easiest thing to do here would be to plug in an x and a y. We might have to do a system of equations on it. Let's see, let's plug this x and y in here. So we'll say y is 3.84 and x is 2. And then let's plug this ordered pair in here as well. Y is 3.072. I think we did something like this in class once. X is 3. So this is a system of equations. So I think the coolest way to do this problem would be to divide both sides of this right-hand equation. Before I keep going, is there anyone who doesn't understand where I got these two equations from? I took the y equals ax plus b and I plugged in this first ordered pair into it here, and then I took y equals ax plus b and I plugged in the second. So I can solve for a and b because I'm trying to get the y equals ax plus b for this. I'm going to divide the first equation by the second equation. I don't know if you knew that you could do that, but I can divide both sides of this equation by anything I want as long as I do it to both sides. I would like to divide both sides of this equation by 3.84, but on the right hand side I'm not going to write it as 3.84, I'm going to write it as ab squared, because ab squared is the same exact thing as 3.84 because that equal sign says that they're equal. So basically, you may not have known this, but you're allowed to divide equations by other equations. And that's because they're equal on each side. So, and you're asking yourself now probably, why would I even do this? But I'll show you why. The a's cancel out now, don't they? That's nice, right? And what's b cubed divided by b squared? Does anybody happen to know? What is it, Rocco? B. So now I know what B is. B is just this ugly, whatever that fraction turns out to be once I put it in my calculator. I got it. It's not a fraction, but it's a decimal. Yeah, what do you got?
Wait, no, never mind.
3.072. 3.84. Oh, isn't that nice? So B's 0.8. So that's a good thing to know. So now I know B, I just have to find out what A is. Does anyone have an idea how I could maybe figure out what A is? What do you think, Rocco?
Fill in 0.8?
Yeah, fill it in. Well, I'd probably put 0.8, I'd stick it right there, you know what I mean, and square it, and then I could divide both sides by it, and it would be A. And you could do it over here too, but I already messed this side all up and made a big mess, so I'm going to do it over here. So what? I'm going to put it in right here, A, and then 0.8 squared. There's lots of ways you can do it. If you think of a different way that makes more sense, you can do it that way, but this seems pretty simple to me. So if I square 0.8, then I'm going to get 0.64. That kind of makes sense. A times 0.64, and that's equal to 3.84. And then does anyone know how I can get A by itself? What do you think, Rocco?
Divide both sides by 3.64.
Yeah. See, this actually isn't so bad. I have a calculator in my hand, so, I mean, the decimals don't really bother me that bad.
6.
Oh, really? That's awesome. He says it just turns out to be 6. That's lovely. So A is 6. So now I know what A is. And why did I go on this long goose chase? Because I was asked to find the exponential equation that these 2 points pass, or that can model these 2 points. So times 0.8 to the x. So that's part of my answer. That's the, let's see, where did it say? That's the equation of the exponential function passing through these 2 points. Now sketch the graph. Well, my YouTube video, I've got like about 4 more minutes. I think I can probably sketch a graph. It just says sketch it. So I kind of know a couple things about exponentials since we remember those posters we have on the wall. I feel like since that's a fraction, I mean that's like less than 1, I feel like it's probably going to have the shape where it goes down like that. But I don't know exactly everything about it, so I'm just going to maybe do 2 or 3 points, like plug some points in. I like to do -1, 0, and 1, because those are very easy to plug into an equation. So if I just stuck a -1 here, what would that be?
8.
8? Are you sure?
Yeah, because no, wait, never mind.
5/4
Trying to do it in my head.
times 6. 7.5? Now, if...
I was close.
Yeah, you actually were very close. So this, if I would have had this in fraction form, it would have been a little bit easier, and I would have been able to do it without the calculator, because that's really 8/10, which is 4/5. The -1 makes it turn upside down. It makes it become a reciprocal, and then I could have multiplied that by 6. And
So 1 is -7.5, right? No.
no, because
1 makes it...
1 makes it be 0.8 times 6, because 0.8 to the 1 is 0.8. So just go 0.8 times 6. That's going to be 4.8. And what does 0 do? 0 makes 0.8 turn into a 1. So that's actually going to be 6. So it's going kind of downhill. So I'm just going to go -1, 0, 1. So -1 and 7.5. Okay, so I just kind of made, it's a sketch, it's not to scale. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. That's -1, 7.5, 0, 6. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1 and 4.8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now remember, it doesn't look too great because I am not using graph paper, but remember earlier I said I think it has a shape where it's going to go downhill? We kind of should know that from, well, from those posters that we have on the wall, and from just some experience that you've had. The more of these you do, the more you'll have an idea of how the shape's going to go, and I think that's sufficient for just for a rough sketch. So I think that's okay, so we're done.